If you ask a man who's paying 100% of your bills, or you're a man, your dream man, what is it about your father that you loved about your father? Like for those of y'all that had him, like what did you loved about your father that you also don't love about your man? And there should only be one thing, because your father relationship wasn't sexual. Everything else that your father did for you, protect you, provide, all that, counsel, all of those things, you guys should be expecting your men to do the exact same thing. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but if what do you want? What did your father do for you that you don't expect your man to do for you? But because you seem like you had a point.
Yeah. I don't know why we keep trying to compare women to children. When even in the Bible, it's clear that there's a heresy, right? There is an order to things, and children are underneath women as they're the parents, right? So that's one thing. As far as parental versus relational relationships, your significant other should be far beyond what your parents have ever been to you. And I think your parents are a starting, and you should be moving up toward what your father and your mother had if they had something healthy and, aspirational. If it was dysfunctional, please scrap it, get therapy, do whatever you got to do. But as far as that, you lie to your parents. We all done snuck out, done did some really stinky things. Now, if I lie to my man and I do the same thing, it's going to be issues, right? There's just a lot of things, right? That the relationship doesn't equate, in my personal opinion, and
So
what I've seen throughout the millennium. But one thing that the video said that we haven't really touched on is, he named a couple of things. He said he wants his woman, for support, counsel, encouragement, inspiration. And then when it got to Cinnamon and the other person, he noted, that he could do all these things for her, and she doesn't seem to appreciate it. Now, one of the things is that I found for women who don't want to solely rely on a man's income, that appreciation aspect of it is it, because there's too many people who get prideful and say you wasn't with me shooting in the gym, but the woman was home making sure that your children were taken care of, that she was paying the bills and playing secretary, doing all these things that allowed you not to spend your money on a resource that would do that, right? Because we all know child care costs are highly expensive. If you can't afford a personal chef and she's cooking all your meals, that's an expense. If she's doing your laundry, that's another expense that people can't afford. All these things, playing secretary, another expense that people can't afford, right? I think it's the appreciation part. And the women who I see whose men do everything and who are satisfied with that, there is a level of appreciation that goes both ways. He appreciates her for the roles and the things that she's doing that he does not have to pay for, and that she's doing out of the kindness of her heart, out of love. And she appreciates the hard work that he's putting in to provide financially for their family and to move them forward. And he does not separate his successes from her. He always acknowledges that his success is because of her, because she's at home and she can manage those things. I work around, world renowned surgeons, right? And one thing they always say, if their wives are stay at home, I can't be who I am without her, because when I have to be in surgery for 15 hours in an emergency situation, or I'm on call or whatever, my wife is the one making sure our children are okay, right? And she's the one making sure that certain things are. So I think that appreciation and that acknowledgement, that has to flow both ways. And when it doesn't flow both ways, I think that's when you're going to see the man be upset and the woman be upset. But I think that's a piece that men, if they're in a solely provider situation, that they're not acknowledging, is that appreciation has to flow both ways.
so the men that you mentioned wouldn't be the
Mhm.
ones talking about she wasn't with me shooting in the gym. So that I
No, some
understand.
of them. Wait,
Wait,
now.
no. If to your logic and if to your point, you said these well-renowned surgeons, and then you mentioned some of these guys say that those aren't the guys that do things like that. I don't believe that Hitman is doing that on the panel. But what he explained was, I do all of this for you, and what what women don't understand about men is that we use words for their definition, and we understand that once you guys say something like, and then you say but, everything before it is null and void. So I appreciate that, but I still want to have my own. If he's one of the ones that does what you said he does and says, hey, you went with me shooting in the gym, then everything you just said makes sense. But we're speaking for the guys. We don't know that to be true, one. And then two, even in your example, you're around men who aren't like that. So, and I do concede that if a woman is at home taking care of the kids so a man can go be great, she's with him while he's shooting in the gym, unless he was great before he got with her. If he was average and then became great and she was there the entire time, there's no argument to be had. I will defend women on that hill to the day I die. However, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a woman who wants to be independent in her relationship, although being completely dependent on her man for her survival. So she wants to be dependent. She didn't say, hey, you know what? I would rather go find my own, make my own money, and then contribute to the household. She says she wants to actually have it to where she's saying, hey, I want you to keep doing all of these things, but I also want to go be independent and have it on my own. Because one thing that we should all be able to admit, honestly, is that when a man has money, he tends to want to, that money is spent to more say for his family. Like if he's already married, not single men. But when women make more money, their money doesn't necessarily flow back into the home directly, because, you know, his money is your money and your money is your money, that mindset. So when we talk about this, it's not, we can't just say, okay, well, this is what we think happened. We can only take it for what he said. And for what he said after watching the entire clip, she literally broke his ego because she took him pointing out what he provides to for her as her shitting on him, because she's not something, it doesn't make her happy. She wants to be independent. But what he asked her, I don't know if we're going to show the entire clip. Okay. Listening and looking in the comments to say, well, hey, well, if he stopped paying bills, would you want to go 50-50 with him? Crickets.
So I am coming to confirm the statistic that Toya did present to us. 1 in 3 actually women experience severe intimate partner violence. 1 in 4 experience some form of intimate partner violence. So it's actually worse if you consider severe intimate partner violence. And that would include, I'm sorry. And this is,
I was just going to ask if that includes woman on woman.
Says 1 in 3 women, and it has men, 1 in 4 men. So this would include women on women, but I want to make it very, very clear that LGBTQ relationships are 1% of the total.
You said 1%?
1, yeah. So when we're talking, I mean, it's like, you know, when they say 99% chance you won't get pregnant wearing this condom, it's the other 1%. Because like it's kind of like that. So like unless y'all want to talk about that, it's like 99% chance.
No, we can forget that part. I mean, because
so I'm just throwing out that that's how
we appreciate that.
Yeah.
Did you have something on this?
I did. You asked me to present this, so I'm presenting that. And
no, we ain't mad at you. Go ahead.
When it comes to the part in the video that I watched, the part that stuck out to me was the kind of the disconnect between what she considered to be throwing it back in her face and what he considered to be her, you know, killing his ego, right? And honestly, I did not see either one on either side. I saw 2 people really proud of what they can do and offer in their own like sovereign lives, kind of having challenges merging that together. I didn't see anybody who genuinely wanted to harm the other person. I saw that there was this guy who's like, I got it out of the mud. Oh, that means that whoever I'm with is going to be super happy for me. So I'm going to be able to talk about this all the time. And she's going to be like, that's my man, my baby, my man. And this was a woman who's like, I'm really, really happy with my capabilities. And I think I can offer something, not just being the stay-at-home whatever. And there's an issue with them merging there. So for me, like, I actually thought they were both off. As I was listening to it, I thought that it was actually very silly for them to be having a conversation about their relationship with 2 other random people who did not have successful relationships, but somehow we're on the internet and that's what we're doing. So I think that like when I listen to them, it is important that the person in the power position, which is the man who makes the money, right, to understand the vulnerability that presents to another person who is used to making money on their own. And I do think that there's an importance there. Similarly to how, since we like to compare women to children, similarly to how when you have a 13, 14, 15-year-old, you kind of give them their own financial independence by saying, hey, work on your allowance, this. Everyone wants autonomy. Literally from the age of a child is 0 through 4, they want to do it themselves. Kids will literally fight you. They want to do things themselves. Everybody wants autonomy. Everyone wants to feel accomplished. So I do think if you're a person who has good intentions and you are the financial provider in a capitalistic society, understand that there's a power imbalance there, and you need to be cognizant of that so that you make that other person still feel like an autonomous, sovereign human being.